Good afternoon, good evening, or whatever, folks. One more edition of the Sports Report is on the air. My friend Gary Patterson and I will bring you all kinds of great sports stuff. But first, how about the stuff down in Alexandria, Virginia today?
Yeah, terrible. It's just the latest example, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Things are just so out of control. Not all of a sudden, but kind of all of a sudden.
The FBI has said they think he's been living in his car down there since April.
Is that right? Were they aware of him already?
Apparently.
Huh.
Now, holy cow.
Yeah.
If he's living in that area, do you mean to say nobody ever went over and shook him down and said, hey, who are you?
What are you doing
Yeah.
here? Yeah.
He's from Illinois, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
And you're sleeping in a car in D.C.
Yeah. Huh. Wow.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And
And there's no easy answer either.
No,
Or
there's not.
Easy solution.
There isn't. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this festering hatred on television,
Yeah.
Kathy Griffin with the severed head, it's Stephen Colbert with 10 minutes of cursing and swearing about the president,
Yeah.
Bill Maher
Yeah.
hinting that the president had an affair with his daughter.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
out of line.
festers hatred, and yet the networks do nothing about it.
Right.
The New York Times doesn't even mention it. They are so mad they lost the election. But being from the other party, we didn't do that when Obama was elected and reelected.
No.
I mean,
No, not at all. There was resistance, certainly, and there was disagreement.
there
Certainly.
was. But it was on an intellectual basis. It certainly wasn't in the streets.
For the most, not in the streets,
Yeah.
but in Washington, it was more than an intellectual.
It was, it was, it was really,
And that's the problem, a lot of people like the idea of draining the swamp, but
Yeah.
the swamp doesn't want to be drained.
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And the swamp critters are fighting back.
Yes, they are.
Whether they're right or wrong, they are hanging on to their jobs and
Yep.
their power.
Right.
And that's something that the president underestimated. If he thought they were just going to roll up
Yep.
their sleeping bag and go away, boy, he was mighty naive.
Yeah. It's too bad, but
The
we'll see what happens.
The other thing, how about that high-rise fire in London?
Terrible, yeah.
Now, the death toll, I believe, is 12 and expected to go quite a bit higher.
Do they know the cause for sure?
No.
They don't know the cause
Well,
for
if
sure.
they do, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
No. But the pictures
Yeah.
of the flames just shooting straight up the
Yeah.
entire building, you say to yourself, how the hell could anybody survive
Yeah.
that?
How do you get out of there?
Yeah.
You should get out awfully quick. Yeah, terrible.
Unbelievable. Well, there you are, folks. That's your dose of reality.
Reality,
such as
now
it
back
is.
to sports, yeah.
Now
Let's-
back to sports.
Yeah, let's get back to the fantasy.
How about them Warriors and Cavaliers? What did you think of that series?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring. You look at the NBA playoffs versus the NHL playoffs from start
Yes.
to finish.
Yep.
In my mind, you can't even compare them. Everybody knew who was going to be there.
Yeah.
And then when they finally got there, the great series that everybody anticipated didn't materialize.
No, it didn't.
You know.
No, there was. Do you know that when Cleveland played Boston, Boston's here and Cleveland's here. The men playing the boys.
Yeah.
But when Cleveland played Golden State,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was the men playing the boys.
Yep.
So, but the point I want to make is look how far the Celtics are
Right.
from being able to compete with Golden State.
Yeah.
If they got manhandled by Cleveland, who turn around and were embarrassed by Golden State.
Right.
Boy, I tell you, the
There's a
Celtics
long way to
work
go.
is cut up. Yeah.
It is, and they're not going to. Celtics are not going to win the title next year,
No.
and probably not the year after. But they're positioned to be there, I think, in 2 to 3 years.
My son Patrick is the Celtic watcher in my family. Convinced that Danny Ainge is going to trade the number one.
Yeah, it's possible. I personally don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he's going to sign a free agent, and he's going to sign either Gordon Hayward or Blake Griffin.
Well, Gordon Hayward is making noise that, boy, that deal down there in Miami, boy, does that look good to
Yeah,
me.
Miami is definitely going to make a run at him.
That's what his posse, that's the word they're putting out, you
Right.
know?
And alternatively, Blake Griffin today, the rumors are out that he, through Adrian Wojnarowski there, who's the guy, right? Word came from Griffin that he's interested in Boston. That he was here when Paul Pierce's last game here, and how impressed he was with the Boston fans and the whole Boston scene, and that Boston is of interest to him.
They'll straighten him out shortly after he arrives.
Right. So the Clippers can't keep everyone, right? They've got Chris Paul up, they've got Griffin up, and they've got somebody else.
How old is Griffin?
He's 28.
All right, so
28.
he's got 4 years left. And
He's
in
the
his
last guy to
prime.
come into the league after a one and done, a 19-year-old kid. And in his first year, he averaged 20 and 10. He actually averaged 21 and 10 in his first year. Now, stats have kind of plateaued off since then, you know. But he is I like Griffin. The only issue with him is health. Can he stay healthy? He has definitely had injury issues.
You know, there's a lot of that going around.
Right. So is it just that he got injured, or is he injury prone? Who knows?
Tell me something. Do you think there's any possibility that the Celtics and the Bruins, their collective brain trusts, are looking at Belichick and saying, you know, he trades down every year, and he comes out of it smelling like a rose every year.
The one team that could maybe do that is the Bruins. I just think basketball is so different. It's so different. You know, you don't win a title unless you have those premier players. I mean, you look at Golden State. They've got two of the best top 5 players in Durant and Curry. You know,
Yep.
that's two of the top 5 players in the league. And then they have another player, in my view, Klay Thompson, who's probably in the top 30 players in the league.
We're going to have some fun with that kind of a list
Yeah.
in a little while here.
So, you know, and that's how you win in the NBA.
I thought that, I think you're right, by the way, I agree with you. But I thought that the Bruins the other day, Johnny Sweeney put out the word that, look, we're just about set. The pipeline is full of young players coming.
Yeah.
We are really in the catbird seat now. I can afford to trade that one for a couple of future draft choices, maybe a 1 and a 2 together. So, you know, we have really drafted well. They must be hiding those players
Well,
carefully away from everybody's point of view.
we're going to know the answer to that in the next 2 years.
That's right. Yeah. I think he's been watching that movie, Great Expectations.
Right. And you know what? You read the Boston papers, and of course
Yeah.
you're getting their spin, right?
Oh,
on
absolutely.
these guys. But the left winger there, Brusque.
Louis DeBrusque's kid.
Yeah, DeBrusque.
Yeah.
You know, they seem to be pretty high on him.
Yeah.
And they desperately need a second line left winger. Now, he's a rookie. So here's my would you do this question for you. There's rumblings that the Rangers would like to move Rick Nash because he's got 1 year left at $8 million. He was a disappointment, and I don't know if you happen to see the post game show the night Mike Milbury just tore Rick Nash to pieces. It was a classic.
No, I didn't see it.
It was a classic. You should Google it and watch it on YouTube or something because Milbury just took him apart. But my question is, he's got 1 year left at $8 million, so they think the rumor said, it's going to be really hard to trade that. So if they were willing to eat half of that, and would you take for 1 year Rick Nash at left wing on the second line for $4 million while your kids grow up another year?
Well, first of all, I don't think that any of the kids, no matter what Donnie Sweeney says, is ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Senshin, who had a terrific year down to Erie, but he hasn't played at Providence yet, let alone be ready for the Bruins.
Right.
You got DeBrusque, who kind of caught on late in the season down at Providence, said, this is what this is all about, kind of stuff.
Right.
I think maybe O'Gara, maybe the closest thing to being ready down there, and he's a defenseman.
Yeah.
So
we have a need there, I think.
I do too. I agree.
I mean,
if I thought I could get him
yeah.
for $4, and I could figure a way around the cap, I think I'd grab it.
And I don't know if you can do that in the NHL where the Rangers would keep that $4 million against their cap, and we would only have a $4 million cap.
I think they can work that out.
What I read said that he has 1 year left at $8 million,
Yeah.
guaranteed.
But they were competitive this year down in New York. I mean, they had a real competitive team.
And they went to the second round of the playoffs.
And boy, if he can't get it done down in New York,
right,
with that kind of a team,
so I don't know how old I think he's maybe 32.
33, I
33
think.
maybe. But the thing is, it's 1 year.
Listen, he's a good
And
hockey
he's going to be
player.
playing for a contract to stay in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, you remember him when he was in Columbus. He was a goal scorer plus. He was a first line left winger.
Yes, he
absolutely.
was. Yeah. And he can skate.
So if you could, only commit to him for 1 year and you didn't have to overpay for him.
Yeah, but what's the
And then you let DeBrusque continue to
Yeah.
develop, and because who knows if Nash can even come in here and give you 80 games, right? So you might.
But see what are we gonna after we spend this $4 million? What do we got? 6 or 8, 10 or 10 points higher at the end of the season.
At the expense of not letting the kids
Yeah.
play. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'd rather have the kids up playing. To be honest with you,
you've got a veteran depth piece
Yeah, but
that allows you not to rush those kids.
Yeah. I'd like to see him down at Providence.
You're only committed for 1 year on Nash.
Boy, if I thought David Krejci could possibly stay sound for
Well, that's
a
the
year.
question. Krejci, I agree with you, but when you look at the stats, I believe Krejci played like 74 games this year, which was his most in a while.
Yeah, he lost a few games early.
But he ended up playing more.
Oh, well, that's
the problem was his production wasn't there. His production wasn't there.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think part of that problem was the turnstile at left wing.
Well, that's exactly right.
Every night you had a
who
different
am I
left
playing
winger.
with tonight?
Yeah.
Who the hell is that kid? Yeah.
So you give him a guy who's playing for a contract, who knows how to put the puck in the net,
Bingo. Name of the game.
right?
Yeah. I certainly want to
I would do
take a
it.
look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it was nothing but money
Right.
and a couple of draft choices.
Even if it was $5 million for 1 year.
Yeah. Maybe a 3 or
Yeah.
a 4 together. Man, we could work that one out, I think.
And the rumor is, that they would like to move him. They've had their kind of like Columbus. Rick Nash seems to be a player that teams get their fill of after a while.
There's a couple of coaches like that
Yeah.
around the league, too.
And supposedly this rumor is that the Rangers have kind of had their fill. They'd like to move him. They know they're not going to.
Yeah. They know they're not
gonna
going
have
to get
to-
anything worthwhile.
Right.
Right. But they get something.
People see the $8 million and they're not, right? But if you only have to pay him 5 or 4,
Yeah.
how
Well-
bad do the Rangers want to move him?
Well, that's the question. Yeah.
Maybe I'll give you a fifth.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'll take him off your hands. And then the Rangers maybe are looking to be able to go sign another free agent if they have the room. Now, if they have to eat 4, who knows? But
the Rangers, I think, would be better off without him than with him.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
And I think they've come to that conclusion.
Yeah, that was the end.
So the question is, would you take a flyer on him?
You know,
I would think long and hard, because what's our other alternative?
Remind me, after the show, to tell you my favorite Mike Milbury story. As loose as we are here on this show,
can't
this
tell it
one's
on the air.
not ready for prime time.
That must be a good story, then.
It is. I got a good Wayne Cashman one, too. Jerry Remy,
Yeah.
tough luck.
Yeah. And it's back. Cancer's back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's going to be operated on in a couple of weeks, but you notice he's sticking with the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. I wish
Yeah,
him well.
I-
He's had a tough go the last few
He
years.
sure has. He sure has. And you know, he tells it like it is. And for him to be crucified over that non-remark he made,
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's
it's a sign
the
of the times.
PC crowd.
The PC crowd, sign of
The
the times.
boy, oh boy. You know who I really,
Go back and listen to some broadcasts from the 60s or 70s. I wonder what you're going to hear.
heaven's sakes, and you know,
That would get people fired today.
Steve Buckley, I mean, wrote that crying piece in the
didn't see it.
Herald.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, Jerry, you know better than that. Where's your sensitivity?
Yeah.
Take it out back and bury it like a dog does a bone. David Price,
David Price, yeah.
talk to me about him.
Well, you know, we'll see what happens. He's inconsistent coming back, right? He's looked okay at times. He has a very good start. One thing I'll say is he's throwing hard. He's throwing 95,
Yes, he is.
you know?
And now it's, well, just get the finishing touches. You
Yeah.
got the 95. Now let's see if we can
Still
refine
got
your
the
breaking
changeup.
stuff here
Yeah.
and the cutter, and
Yeah.
we'll be back in business. So that part of it, I'm with. I think he is very close to
Yeah.
being David Price again.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering where his head is at. He's not a happy camper these days, and the yelling and screaming in the
Yeah. He needs to just shut up and
clubhouse.
play baseball.
Yeah, but he can't.
He can't. He
And I'd
finds that
love
hard
to know
do.
what Evan Drellick said to him that
Yeah.
sent him off the deep end. But it must have been a Lollapalooza.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think.
Or David Price has grown rabbit ears.
Well, he may have, and if he has, this is the wrong place to do that.
This is the wrong place.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to tell the story one more time that I used to walk up the gym with Dave Wallace, the old pitching coach.
Yeah.
And he said there are great pitchers that cannot pitch in Fenway Park.
Yeah. I think we've seen it from time to time.
We have.
Yeah.
We have. Clement
Yeah.
was a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are guys that come in here, and boy, I'll tell you, the pressure, the fans, the expectations, the press, the TV commentators, the talk shows.
And it's
I mean,
relentless.
you die the death of
It's
a thousand
relentless.
cuts here.
yeah.
Ask Bobby Valentine how much
Right.
he enjoyed his stay.
Yeah.
Of course, he asked for some of that too.
So all that said,
Yeah.
I think if, Price would if it's all about what he does in the field. If he comes out and lights it up in the second half of the year, all that stuff's going to go away.
It is. You're absolutely right. What
so-
have you done for me lately?
If John Farrell's such a great manager, why doesn't he have him under control and saying, look, David, you're in Boston. Through all the crap in Boston, it's all about performance.
W's.
It's all about performance. If you perform, you can be the biggest jerk you want. They're not going to care. If you don't perform, you can be the nicest guy in the world. They don't care. Right? So it's performance, baby. Period.
You can be the most talented guy in the world. But
Yeah.
if they think you're dogging it,
You're dead.
that's right.
Right.
Terry O'Reilly couldn't skate his
Right.
first 3 or 4 years here, but they loved him every second he was on the ice because he went out there and worked his butt off.
And you're a pitcher, you're a major league pitcher, so that means that you're going to make. He made 35 starts last year. You're going to have 4 or 5 bad starts,
That's it.
right? And every pitcher has that happen, and when that happens, it's about attitude. Pedro had 4 or 5 bad starts a year, but he brought that attitude every single night, even when he didn't have his stuff, And that's what we want out of David Price.
He was interviewed the other day, and he was talking very candidly about hitting the players on deliberately.
Absolutely.
You're not going to dig in on me.
He's never denied it. He didn't deny it when he was playing. He was like,
I can use the inside of the plate too, buddy.
Yeah. And, I'm surprised that whoever does, or maybe their agents, don't counsel people saying, look at Pedro's career in Boston. Look at Pedro. He was great, but he wasn't always great. But he always had the fans.
Let me tell you
Because
something.
even on his bad nights,
He will be loved in this city,
the man.
just like El Tiante.
right?
Be loved forever in this city.
Yeah,
And Bobby Orr.
right.
Guys like and Larry Bird.
Yeah, and of course, Denny Ballgame.
Yep.
Although he's unfortunately
He's gone.
We'd both be saddened
enough.
by talking to young kids today and asking them who Ted Williams is, and they will have no idea.
I know.
Too bad.
It's like talking to my CCD class one night, and I happened to mention the word Holocaust. Oh, these are 8th graders, 9th graders, the smartest kids in their classes. Some of them,
Yeah.
What's the Holocaust?
No, they didn't know about
No
it.
idea. So I said, well, that's the end of the lesson for tonight. We're going to talk about the Holocaust in World War II. At the end of the night, 2 of the girls came up to me and said, Mr. Crane, why don't they teach us that in school? Why not?
Yeah, it's history.
Yeah. Boy, Chris Sale, 4.57 ERA in his last 7 starts.
Yeah, he's gone through a bit of a rough patch.
Nowhere near as sharp as he was at the beginning of the season.
No. But I think I think he's fine.
Yep.
He's throwing well. He had the rough start I talked about. And he's a good example. Mm-hmm. You don't hear him yapping between starts. You don't hear him tweeting between starts. He shows up and pitches. He's like the Pedro model we just talked about. And he comes out every night and he brings it.
Yeah.
And, the last 4 or 5 starts, not that great. First 5 starts, dominant.
Oof.
So, Yancey lies in middle ultimately, and that's pretty darn good.
It should all
Yeah.
level out.
Yeah.
Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah, dominant.
Whoosh. Well,
know-
I'll be the first one to admit that I was wrong. I mean, it drove me crazy last year
Yeah.
when he could not find the plate.
Right.
But boy, oh boy.
He's been dominant this
Oh.
year. And this is one area where I think I give Farrell credit, right? Because I heard someone use this term and I liked it. He has weaponized Kimbrell in that, yes, he's with the 8 coming in the 8th innings, right? And he's a closer plus now. Now we'll see, right? Big debate is, how's he going to be in September and October? He's a closer. They usually pitch 60 innings. If he's up at 80, 85, 90 innings, which he could be,
Then he
I look at that and say, I think of one person, Dick Raditz, right?
Raleigh fingers.
Just getting loose when he hit
Yeah,
90 innings.
yeah.
The
Raleigh
weather was just
fingers.
term and warm.
3 inning saves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then come back the next night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring him in the 7th, let him pitch the last 3.
Right. Right. They did that all the time.
I loved Raleigh fingers.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites. LeBron James' home vandalized.
Yeah.
I mean,
In L.A.
that is
LA
like,
home.
something like that. That's like getting kicked in the belly.
Yeah.
For you folks that don't know, because LeBron James is 1, 2, 3. He's
Yeah.
the best player in the NBA. And he's black. And some real brave soul, some genius spray painted the word nigger on his front fence.
Yeah.
It took a lot of courage to do that. To me,
I thought he handled it very well, though.
he did.
He handled it with dignity.
With dignity is
class,
right.
yeah.
He was outraged,
Yep.
but it was controlled.
Right. And he tried to engage a conversation about it. right?
Exactly. And that is what this country has got
Absolutely.
to do.
Yeah. He
Get the LeBron Jameses of the world to sit down with reasonable people and thrash all this crap out.
yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. And but I will say, I thought he was really magnanimous the way he handled it.
He grew about 6 feet taller in my estimation when he did that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
I have got all the admiration in the world for that guy now.
Yeah.
For the way he handled that situation.
So they didn't catch the perpetrators.
Well, I haven't yet. But
You know, in that neighborhood, I can't believe there weren't video. There's not video in that neighborhood.
know it.
I refuse to believe it.
I know it.
It's
I know it.
a neighborhood of $6 million houses for crying out
Yeah.
loud.
Hard to believe. Hard to
Yeah.
believe.
So it makes you wonder.
I sure hope they get him.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge. Is this some super monster that they built, the Steinbrenners built in a lab or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, he's an extraordinary
Wow.
figure. You know, it just leaped on the scene. He's big. He's strong. He can hit.
He can run.
I mean, he is a legitimate, like Freddie Lynn, a legitimate candidate to win the Rookie of the Year and the MVP.
He is
If
you know
if the
what?
vote was today, he's the MVP.
He's an athlete.
Yes, he is.
Not like some of those big guys. Well, they can hit the ball 9 miles, but
Right.
yeah, they stumble from running the bases and can't
So-
play the D.
You know, he's young.
Mm-hmm.
Can he keep it up for 162? We'll see.
Let's see what happens when they start
they've got a good
feeding him.
Yankees for once I mean, they've done the rebuilding thing. They've got a good young core. Their pitching is old and decrepit.
CC's about
If they pick up a pitcher or two at the deadline,
got the money to do it.
they've got the money to do it, and I think they've got some talent in their organization to do it too. Unlike the Red Sox, who have already traded it all.
Oh, the Red Sox and the Yankees both managed to let some good stuff escape.
Oh, absolutely.
Boy,
How about CC Sabathia shutting them down, huh?
come on. Did you see the way his uniform fit and the belly on him?
Yeah.
My God, he's back well over 300 again.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he went out there and just threw crap all night, and they couldn't touch him.
That's right. That's right. But as one of the old big fat relief pitchers used to say, I don't throw with my belly.
That's right. That's right.
Left-handed.
Pitching history is full of similar body types.
Speaking of that, Pablo Sandoval
Yes,
has been benched again.
rightly so.
Yeah. I mean,
You can't play him in the field.
you can't.
You can't play him in the field. You know,
Where's the concentration?
honestly, I think they need to eat the money and release him,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what.
as much to make a statement as anything else.
Johnny Peralta got released today.
Did he?
Yes. And they own, well, he's on the 4th year of $53 million contract. And they'd seen enough of his act.
Yeah.
Hit the bricks, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Pablo, you cannot play him at third base.
What in...
And tonight, he's starting at third, and Hanley's starting at first. If you're the Phillies,
But they said that they would
What's your
not
bunt
play
sign?
Hanley.
that lineup
That was
for tonight,
last night.
the lineup for tonight has
Oh,
Hanley
God
at
help
first
us.
and Pablo at third. If you're the Phillies, bunt.
Bunt. Oh, man, that's going to...
Yeah.
You've just
Moreland.
ruined it for me. I mean, I watched the game
Moreland
tonight.
has a bruised foot, so they're going to kind of
Oh,
give him a
really?
day off, but he's available to pinch hit. And they're in a National League park, so he'll get an
Yeah.
at bat.
Well, that's awful. You know, I was down at Pawtucket last week. They won. And Alan Craig was in the line.
Yeah. How's
Yep.
the swing looking?
He got a hit. But this is the last year on his contract. Why don't they just buy him? They're going to pay him for the rest of the year.
Right.
Why don't they just say, you know what? Go home.
Yeah.
We'll mail the checks to you every single week. Goodbye. And bring the young player up and put him in there.
The only reason I can possibly think of, and who knows if it's true, is that he's a good veteran influence on these young kids. Maybe he works with the kids. They look up at
If
him
that's
as
the
a guy
case,
who played in a lot of time in the major leagues. You know, he's playing out the string because he's getting paid. They can respect that.
You know, if that's the case, then I take it all back.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other reason why he's still there.
Well,
right? He's obviously never going to be called up here.
Rusney Castillo, I don't think it fits that bill. I mean, he can't even speak English.
How's he doing?
270, 6 home runs. Still got the best arm from the outfield. He could play major league, and the guys on the team would say, wow, I wish I had an arm like that.
Yeah.
I saw him make a throw from deep right center field down there one night, and it never hit the ground to home plate. I never saw that before.
I saw Jack Clark do that once in San Francisco when he was young. He was like 24.
I was thrilled.
Clark.
I was thrilled when the Red Sox got him, even at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He had that one decent year
Yeah.
and 29 home runs. I loved him as a ball player.
Yeah. He was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eduardo Rodriguez is going to write a biography. It'll be called The Perils of Pauline. What more can happen to this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. It's recurring knee problems, though.
It's a subluxation, which means the muscles cannot hold a kneecap in place properly, and it tends to fall out of place. So it's the kind of thing that's never going to get better on its own. So rest, and, if you work in an office, then, you're all set.
But it seems like with all the equipment that they would have a brace that would help him.
I think the problem is you can't pitch with the brace on. I think it really inhibits your movements.
Yeah, well, that's a shame.
Yeah.
He's another one who can't stay on the
But
field.
you know what? If they are saying, well, there's a 30% chance that rest will do this, but 70% chance it'll get straightened out with surgery, I'd anesthetize him and wheel him right into Mass General and say, get the cutters ready.
Right.
And what are we screwing around for?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's too bad because the kid was showing some real progress this year.
Was he ever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Travis. Bring him up and set him down. Yeah. I'll go to my grave wondering about the wisdom of all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like, the kid looks like he can play a little bit.
Can swing the bat.
Right.
I was talking to one of the guys that sits down by me down at Pawtucket, and I said, hey, we got Sam back tonight. He says, yep. He said, they let him go to Boston and sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
Probably taking a couple of games to get his eye back here, but he got a couple of hits.
Did he play third, or is he only a first baseman?
Oh, he's ungainly in the field.
Yeah.
I think he's worked long enough and hard enough so that he can pass for a first baseman.
Yeah.
But I think they tried him in the outfield a couple of times, and
that's the problem for the kid, though. There's no place to play.
That's exactly right.
Right? Yeah. I mean, Moreland's having a good year. You're not sitting Moreland down.
No.
And then you've got your young outfield. Nobody's cracking that outfield lineup.
No. In fact, I was thinking about that the other day. Is there a better outfield in baseball?
When you look at offense and defense, I don't think so. And I say that with the fact that this offense is not performing at its peak offense.
Oh, no.
They've come around a bit lately. But even Mookie's not still hit 275.
Yeah.
And Benintendi's look good.
He got
Bradley's
stalled.
Finally starting to hit some
He got
home
stalled
runs.
there for a couple of weeks when they were feeding him the off-speed stuff.
Yeah.
So he worked with the hitting coaches, and shortened his swing up a little bit. Now all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he's got that little problem whipped. That
Yeah.
kid is so good.
Oh, he's a natural.
We'll be able to watch him for 15 years.
Yeah.
And
he's a natural.
seems like the nicest kid in the world.
Yep.
He's having a hell of a time out there. He's laughing about everything.
As he should.
As he should is right.
Yep. He's got the world by the tail.
Hanley Ramirez, now both shoulders hurt, and they've been diagnosed with the same malady that attacked Manny's hammies.
Yeah.
That's my latest news flash.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah. Bad signing from the beginning. I think you could find tapes of this show where that was discussed at the time. Why in heaven's name are we signing him when
Yep.
there was nobody else really? He had no other offers that we got, and we thought it was good to pay him 4 years, $88 million for 4
the
years.
curse of Ben
when there was
Charrington.
nobody else bidding for his services. He had been on the Dodgers. They weren't interested.
Do you remember going way back to Mo Vaughn when he was a free agent?
Yeah.
And the Angels bid against themselves
Yes.
to run the price up?
Yeah.
Good Lord. But
Malcolm Butler should look at that and say, oh, that's why you get a good agent.
bingo.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Pittsburgh and Nashville.
Yeah, heck of a series. I was rooting for Nashville.
I know. And I was rooting for Pittsburgh, and you ended up, and with me, dead even.
Dead even.
We'll have to settle this next hockey season, which
Yeah.
I have the odds for, by the way.
Oh, you do? I'd be
I'm
interested
going to give
in
you a hint. The Bruins are 30-1 to win the Stanley Cup.
30-1.
Now, Pittsburgh is the favorite. They're 9-1. Do you know something, Gary? If they stay healthy, 9-1 sounds like pretty damn good money to me.
Yeah. I mean, they just did this without Letang.
Yeah,
He's
they're
gonna be-
number one defenseman.
Yeah.
And they lost Murray for
Right.
a series, you might
Yeah.
as well say.
Fleury stepped up big.
Fleury,
time.
he did,
sure
big
did.
time.
I mean,
Boy.
how's that for your backup goaltender?
How's that for your next contract? Because he's a free
He's up.
agent.
Yeah, he's up.
Or he thinks he's a restricted free agent. But he notified Pittsburgh that he is waiving the non-movement clause. So he's saying, move me.
Yeah.
And I think he's got 1 year left, and then he gets a new contract. So, well, I tell you what, he played well.
He did. He was.
But Pittsburgh, when the chips were all down, they were the better team.
Yeah, they were, and you know, Nashville made a great run, and but you know, as somebody who was rooting for Nashville, they really disappointed. No shutout in the last 2 games. They didn't score a goal in the last 2 games, including one at home. You know,
Pittsburgh's been there so many times and done this.
Yeah.
Nashville finally got to the big dance, and it was like
Nashville
they were
needs-
looking around trying to figure out what the hell do I do next.
Nashville needs another scoring
do.
forward too.
They
Because they got a
do.
great defense.
They
you know.
do,
When
yep.
PK Subban's probably your number 3 defenseman. You're doing okay.
And Rin is 35.
Who?
The goalie.
Oh yeah.
Pekka
Pekka
Rin.
Rinne, yeah.
And he's 35, I think. So I think they're probably in the...
He had his ups and downs.
He did.
He had a couple games where he let in some easy goals.
I think they probably would be looking for a goalie.
Yeah.
Marc-Andre Fleury, maybe.
Perhaps.
JBJ, hot now. How do we keep him hot, or at least consistent?
I don't know. He's a streaky player. We've seen that already.
He's an all-world defender. And get a load of this. Get a load of this. I swear, Benintendi is even better in
He
center
might be.
field.
They probably have, I think they have the best defensive outfield in baseball.
They do.
So when we ask, are they the best outfield? I don't know. We'd have to take a look. But when you say best defensive outfield, show me a better one.
Yeah.
I mean, they remind me almost of the Cardinals of the 90s with McGee and Coleman and those guys just running, chasing everything down and catching it. Now, the one concern I've had this year, and it actually extends into last year, is JBJ's accuracy on his throws. A lot of his throws to home, He had one the other night that was at short center. He had plenty of time. He got set up perfectly for the throw. He got the 2 steps. He made the throw. But the thing was 15 feet up the line. So plenty of arm. Not a problem with the arm.
Yeah,
But
and earlier
his-
in the season, too, he airmailed one that
Right.
went over into one side of the catcher.
Right. But I will never forget the play in, was it his first year, I think, the play where, I don't know if you recall, he leaped up in left center field and caught the ball before it hit the wall, backhanded, and then hit the ground and got the runner trying to get back to first in the air from the wall, all the way dead on first base. And that was one of the greatest throws I've ever seen, but it was like, wow.
I won't say that it was.
And where is that accuracy?
I won't say that it was the greatest throw that I've ever seen. But how about Benintendi last night?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He knew what he was doing every step of the way,
He's a
and he
player.
did it
He is a
without
player.
panicking.
Yeah.
And
He's a winning player.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't hurt you with dumb mistakes.
Right.
Daniel Nava, hitting in the 320s. He made that great play the other night, the game before last, where he caught the ball
Yeah.
and then doubled the guy off base.
Right.
How can we get guys like that?
Yeah. Well, he's hot now. Nava's had his ups and downs since
Yeah.
he left.
Listen, he's had injuries, but he's a useful tool. Now, I know he's not going to hit 320 for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
But he's a pinch hitter. He's a switch hitter. He can play first. He can play the outfield.
Yeah, which we don't need. We need
No.
somebody that can play third.
Yep. Third base must be tough on hitters. Manny Machado is hitting 212.
That'll change.
Pander is hitting 205.
Yeah.
And Devin Marrero, 159.
Yeah.
Obviously, third base
Yeah,
trends.
tough
Just
Yeah, it's a hole right now.
Yeah.
No, it really is. I mean, and I would play Marrero there because he could field the position.
you're absolutely
I mean,
right.
honestly, I don't think you can play Pablo Sandoval at third anymore. I don't
No.
think you can do it. Every game, he screws something up.
Yep.
At least one.
And
Sometimes 2.
Marrero can make some fine
Marrero
plays.
can play the position.
Do you know that when he came up to Pawtucket, when they traded Iglesias, there were folks that said, that's okay.
Yeah.
Marrero is better than
Yes.
Iglesias.
He was considered, when he was in the low minors,
Yep.
he was considered a top prospect.
Well, the first couple of 3 times he got called up to Boston, maybe he had a little case of the jitters or something. But boy, when he got stuck in there for 8 or 9 straight games,
Yeah.
he settled down. Man alive.
So, I personally would be playing him there. I just think Pablo's defense is unacceptable. You can't have it.
Totally.
And you're going to accept that so what? He can get a single, in one of his at-bats? I mean, and you get Pablo on base. Okay,
And I
they're going to take
swear,
a triple to get him home.
yes. I swear he was dogging it down to first on a play where one of the infielders bobbled it. And if he had been really digging it, would have been close at first.
Yeah.
And he wasn't.
Let me ask you, if they released him tomorrow, do you think somebody would sign him?
A National League team might.
Maybe.
Yeah, a team that had seen
But if
him
they put
over in the National
yeah,
League.
but that's all well and good. But you put the tape on from this year and watch him play third. How do you sign that?
Yeah, that's it.
So if you're getting him from the veteran minimum and you want a left-handed pinch hitter, your National League team, you need another left-handed pinch hitter to balance out your bench. Maybe you sign him, I guess.
I don't think he's going to do much balancing.
No.
Tyler Thornburg, the latest today, shut down again. The impingement is still there.
Yes.
And, I'll tell you what, our manager, his shoulder impingement suffered in spring training. The problems with it have still not completely subsided, Farrell said. We are continuing to gather as much information as possible on what's going on. What the hell have they been doing up to this point? Just sitting and watching? Might surgery be possible? Well, I don't have a clear-cut answer for that right now, Farrell said. It hasn't been recommended. Until further notice, this is where we are. You know,
Has it been to see, like, Andrews?
he really belongs working for some dodgy politician
Yeah.
as their press secretary.
Or a used car dealership?
Yeah, they got that one too.
Yeah.
You'll love it. The wheels go round and round.
So the news is better on Carson Smith, right?
Yes.
There's still,
yeah, he's throwing.
He's looking good.
And looking good to go to the minors for a
traveling
couple of
with the team
rehabs.
for the last week or so.
Yes. Yep. They
So
say
we should see him,
I think I'll probably see him down in Pawtucket next week.
probably.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a list of some games I've got
Okay.
so that you can come with me some night.
I would like to do that. That'd
Yeah.
be fun.
I'll give you the list so that you can pick your way through it.
Okay.
Because I know you're vacationing and all that stuff. Too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually on my way to New York tomorrow. I'm going to see the number of things down there, one of which is going to be the Mets-Nationals game Saturday afternoon
Wow.
at 4.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see Neil Diamond tomorrow night in Madison Square
The
Garden.
beat goes on.
Yeah.
Man.
And then the Book of Mormon, Friday night.
Oh, really?
They're going to see that play, yes. Yes. So, my daughter lives down there, so we got to take care of it. I love New York. I love to come in for 2 or 3 days and then get the hell out of there.
I hope my wife doesn't see this show because I try to tell her that living, really living is going to Market Basket. Maybe.
Yeah.
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 And I don't encourage anything much beyond that.
Yeah. Splurge it, go to Wegmans. Yeah.
Jed Lowry, 293 and 9 home
Having a
runs.
good year.
Yeah, but he'll get hurt.
He'll get hurt.
Yeah. Very, very bright kid.
Nice kid. I wish him well.
Yeah, I talked to him down at Pawtucket. Very nice, well-spoken kid.
Yeah.
He and Ellsbury were tight.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. And some of the players looked at them as being aloof because they read the Wall Street Journal and talked about investing and stuff like that. Yeah. But I'm glad to see him having a good year. And you know what? The Red Sox need a utility infielder. They could do a hell of a lot worse than try to pick him up.
Yeah, they could. I don't know if he's available, though.
No, probably not. Probably not. Oakland's got nothing. I mean, God. Bartolo Colon, 2-7, 7.78 for an earned run average.
And on the DL. Isn't he on the DL?
He may be. I
think he may be on the DL.
But I think Father Time may have caught up with him.
Yeah.
Travis
Speaking of
Shaw.
large waistbands, yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Travis Shaw, 298,
Yeah.
10 home runs, 42 RBIs, and they just had a baby, a little girl, and she just had open heart surgery.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry that the Red Sox traded him.
Yeah,
He was one
absolutely.
of my favorite players.
he would be the solution. He'd be playing third.
Sure. And guess what? They could always move him over to first.
Right.
Yeah, when there's a right-hander, a left-hander pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he hits lefties as well as righties.
Yeah. Even if you platooned him with,
Yeah.
Marrero or somebody.
Sure,
Fine.
that's
Fine.
right.
Yeah.
You'll be happy. This is almost a success story here. You'll be thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Drew is batting 267. Still playing.
where's he playing?
Washington. You're going to get to see him.
Oh, is he? Wow, he's in Washington now?
Yeah. What a deal, huh?
Yeah.
He signed either a $2 or $3 million contract to be the fill-in infielder.
He's going to end up making more than JD by the time he's done.
Rich Hill, 3-2, 3.77 earned run average, and guess what?
What?
The blisters are still bothering him.
Yeah. That was the problem.
All right, teams that have used the most pitches this year. The Twins have used 24.
Holy mackerel, as we sit here in June.
L.A. Angels, 23. Baltimore 23. Seattle and the New York Mets and the San Diego Padres 22 each. Phillies 21 and the Red Sox 20.
Wow, we're up to 20 already,
Yeah.
huh?
I got some more names for you.
Okay.
Brock Holt.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to end well.
It doesn't sound like it.
No.
It doesn't sound like it. You know, it sounds like he should just take the rest of the year off and
But
hopefully.
don't you think the doctors, maybe they have.
Yeah.
Maybe they have. Maybe they, because, doctors don't tell you got to do something.
Yeah.
That's, it probably would be best. It's my
Yeah.
opinion. But
I mean, he's around with the team. He's in the dugout last night, flicking the seeds,
yep.
having some fun. So maybe he can
But
come
he's
back. I mean,
no baseball activities.
Yeah.
None. Yeah. Johnny Peralta, I talked to you
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. He was hitting a robust 204 when they offloaded him. How about the story of Scooter Gennett? 4 home runs in one game,
Yeah.
and they had picked him up off the waiver wire from Milwaukee at the end of spring training.
Wow.
He got a grand slam and a total of 10 RBIs.
In one game, yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
One of 17 players to hit 4 home runs in a single game.
Only 17.
17.
That's a unique group.
Yeah, sure is.
I bet you there's some names on there.
There's only 2 that jump out at me. Pat Seary, who was a 40s kind of player.
Seary?
Pat Seary, Seery. And he hit 4 with the the Cubbies or the White Sox? I think it was the White Sox. And I'm pretty sure Joe Adcock hit 4 home
Joe
runs.
Adcock.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jimmy Pearsall passed away.
Yeah.
Father of 9 children.
9 kids he had, huh?
Saw him play many times. Great center fielder.
Yeah.
Great jump on the ball. But he had the nervous breakdown and
Yeah.
everything. And it was, I met him late in life.
Did you?
And it was tragic. He was at an autograph show, and for $5, I got to go in back. And so I had a bunch of Pearsall pictures, 6 or 7 of them. I guess the guy said, okay, $25, go in there, and, he'll sign them all for you. And jumped up from the desk and got right in my face. How are you?
Is that right?
Yeah, shaking my hands. I haven't seen you in a long while. And I'm saying, oh my God. But, I mean,
Huh.
I don't think he had his meds.
Yeah,
Or he
so
took
he was
too many that morning.
He was elderly at this point?
Yeah. But it was, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Farrell, yeah, okay. Bill James.
Yeah.
We don't hear one word about
No.
this old hermit anymore.
No.
Now, I have a theory that he's fallen out of favor as Swami to John Henry.
Yeah, I think he was behind the don't sign John Lester because you can't sign pitchers over 30 years old.
Right. And
I think he was behind
also
that, and-
think that he encouraged John Henry to give Charrington the green light to sign a couple of bats.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I think he's on the outs. I'm surprised he's still around because you're right. It's been
yeah.
total silence when it comes
I
to this
think
guy.
myself, and I'm not going to read that, but what I wrote. But I think that John Henry said to himself, I got a bunch of bad publicity from Bill James and the fact that he's a little bit of a wild man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll still be my friend, but I'm keeping it a secret.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's on the outs
Yep, me too.
because I think John Henry realizes very well that not signing John Lester was a big
Mistake.
Big.
Lester pitched a beautiful game last week.
beyond the fact that it cost him probably an extra $100 million.
That's right.
Beyond that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't
Swapping
take
out
Lester
Lester for
and send
Price.
Price out there? Give me a break.
That was a big mistake, and everybody seemed to know it, but them at the time.
Yeah. And I
think that was Bill James.
Bill James. I
was
wouldn't
Bill
be the
James.
least bit surprised. St. Louis Cardinals announced that old friend Bill Miller The team's assistant batting coach has been granted a leave of absence.
Oh,
I hate that when that happens because I think the worst that there's maybe a medical issue or
yeah.
drugs or booze or who
Yeah.
knows.
usually not
But-
a good thing.
But I'm hoping that they just threw him under the bus because they can't hit. But this was
Possibility.
this guy was a hell of a ball player.
Oh,
in
he was.
Boston.
He had a couple of good years
And
here where he was.
there wasn't. I don't know of
Such a
one
useful
person
player.
that said one bad word about him.
Yeah.
He did lots of things off the field. I thought he was just an all-round great player.
Yeah, he was. Real contributor.
Yep. And 326, 283, and 295 for his 3 years he was here in Boston.
Yeah.
Plus played a Stella, third base, and plus played first base too.
Yep. Boy, we could sure use him right now.
Oh,
Playing third.
well, we're coming to the end, but I've got to tell you about your favorite player, Henry Owens.
Okay.
Henry's line in the last game, the Paw Sox won 7-1. Innings pitched 4.2, hits 4, earned run 1, strikeout 2, base on balls 8.
8.
The start before that, innings pitched 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 bases on ball, 1 strikeout. Do you hear a bell in the background? It's
Yeah.
tolling for Henry Owens. And
it's over, baby.
That's it. It's all done, Henry.
Yep.
I'll be
An
surprised.
official bust.
That's it. That's it. And one last note, Andrew Miller's earned run average with Cleveland is 0.55.
Yeah, that was
And the
other
Red
mistake.
Sox and the Yankees both couldn't wait to get rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the other's mistake, actually.
It was.
The
That
two
was a
lefties.
huge mistake. Oh. And the Paw Sox Media Guide, which I bought for $6.
$6.
It is a great bargain. All kinds of stuff in there. Friends, that's it. We're going to ring it down for another couple of weeks. Glad you were able to tune in. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be able to have lots more coming up.
Yeah, we'll know
I
what the Celtics are going to
I
do.
think the Celtics and the Bruins are coming up.
Celtics are going to make
Yep.
a big move by the next time we come here.
No matter what happens, it'll be a big move.
Yes.
So, good night, folks.
Good night.